brought to you by Southern Trust Home Services, 540-208-3425. Get into a Southern state of mind. Hey there, I'm meteorologist Jamie Singleton live here on a Tuesday night, the 29th of October, and we are looking at a major storm system moving into the area right now, actually in the form of some cloud cover. We had some patchy drizzle earlier today, but we are going to see just a ton of energy move into the system, and this is going to crank out lots of rain over the next 48 hours or so. The potential, even though we're coming out of a drought, for some minor flooding across the area. And then we're looking at the possibility also for Thursday night of maybe some strong to severe storms. Some of those could even rotate coming out of North Carolina for south side. We're going to have to watch that as well. But the big thing, I think, area-wide is going to be just really heavy rain, totals that will start to add up. And I'm talking about 3, 4, 5 inches of rain, maybe even higher in a few locations. So that's what I'm looking for out of this system. Now, what's going on? It's still snowing in Denver. They had snow yesterday. The jet stream pattern has been diving down from the northwest, bringing the fires to California, the offshore winds there, and then the snow kind of rounds the base here and goes in with the cold air up toward Chicago after hitting Wichita, Kansas City, that area. And now the Gulf of Mexico has opened up and is tapping into the system, the next one that's going to move through the area. Now, this will be our last wet system for a while. After this, we're going to turn to a very windy Friday as some colder air moves in, and then we start to see a cool, dry pattern set up, but kind of chilly actually into early next week with no rain on the horizon after that. So it's going to change where the pattern is going to change. We're going to get rid of the rain for a while and go to a cooler, more autumn-like feel. But when we see a pattern change, sometimes we have to see something major move through the area with a lot of impact. So this is going to be a what I call a weather-aware day, I think, for even Wednesday night going into Thursday. You can see those clouds already moving into the area now. And rain surrounds us all the way from Missouri and the Gulf of Mexico all the way across much of the southeast. So this will be developing across the area during the day tomorrow. It'll take some time developing, but once the rainfall develops, you'll see it out there and it'll start to add up, I think, pretty fast. One thing I'm going to note is the past couple of rains, I don't know if you noticed this, but a lot of the modeling was only indicating around an inch, maybe less than that in even some situations. And we've, in both situations, tripled those numbers. If you actually look at what actually fell, the actual data, what fell on your rain gauge. So the modeling can be somewhat off in this. But I've learned what I can look at and what not to look at. I know that on this high-res NAM, what I look at are the higher-res features that show up near the parkway. So this is total precipitation only going through, let's see, this takes us through tomorrow. So even by this time tomorrow, it'll be raining steadily. There's going to be 2 waves of rain. One will reach us tomorrow afternoon and evening. The next wave will come in Thursday night. And both of these could be pretty heavy. I was initially thinking that tomorrow's rain would be lighter, but right now it's looking more like we could see amounts up close to an inch, maybe even over that by the time we are 24 hours away into this time tomorrow. Look at these red spikes here near the parkway. 2.85 inches, and this isn't even, we haven't even got to Thursday yet. In some areas on this model here on the high-res NAM are over 3 inches. That concerns me because then we have to add the rain from Thursday, and here it comes. Look at the map, light up here like a jack-o'-lantern. I was going to say a Christmas tree, but it's Halloween. It's going to be a wet Halloween, folks, and some of these rainfall amounts get up to around 4 or 5 inches. Even across the Carolinas, you're looking at over 5 inches, over 6 or 7 inches down here across the mountains of North Carolina. What I noticed with the last system especially was that the higher amounts tended to be over a broader area. I had a lot of places, especially like in Franklin County where the Parkway and the Blue Ridge mountains sit right here, right where that heavier rain is. That's where the upslope winds hit that, and that can wring out a lot of moisture. So I am worried that we're going to see a wide widespread. I think everyone's getting an inch to 2 inches out of this. I think the question will be who gets the 3, 4, 5-inch amounts, and they're going to be pretty much lined up along the Blue Ridge Parkway. So those areas need to watch, and maybe even the mountains getting that much in the NRV and Roanoke there as well. We'll have to wait and see on that. I'll put up the future radar here, and the 18Z runs also tend to be a bit drier because they don't have as much data going into them. But so we'll see what the 0Z has in just a couple of hours. But you can see as we go through the night tonight, these are returns that are coming in. And then as we go into the day tomorrow for Wednesday, we've got a solid shield of rain. Again, this is the initial shield of rain. Doesn't really get into the Piedmont that much, but that's some pretty steady rain by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon coming out of the NRV, moving into Roanoke by around 6 p.m. It'll be raining before that, though, but the heaviest of the rain by 6, 7 o'clock, and this is on Wednesday, going in now to Wednesday night, and we've got heavier rainfall embedded within this. There'll be a lot of moisture pulled in from the southeast at the surface. We've got winds coming out of the west, aloft and above that, and out of the south in between that. So a lot of wind shear develops too, and that's why we get the potential for these rotating storms that I've been talking about as well. But right now I'm just focusing on the heavy rain threat, really. And then we have a bit of a break, and then Thursday comes, and during the morning we've got showers and storms over us, some of those heavy. We get into a little bit of a break maybe during the day, and then here comes the line of the actual heavy rain with that cold front coming in. And unfortunately, we were looking at the timing of this for the past couple of days, and I've been, contemplating maybe a scenario where this comes in late after midnight. But the past few runs have sped this up a little bit in that it comes in late in the afternoon, early in the evening for the Roanoke Valley and the NRV, and then it crosses the Blue Ridge and crosses the Roanoke Valley area, getting into Bedford and Lynchburg between really 4 and 7 o'clock is when this heaviest rain is going to be moving through the area, and it lingers 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night. It'll be raining really hard behind this front, behind this main squall line as well. But you can see it's picked up on the stronger storms here that are showing up around Danville and Martinsville, and these are the storms that could be spinning coming out of North Carolina. You can see too that off to the west you have a good area of moderate to heavy rain that continues off to the west of the main line here. So we'll have to watch and see if that actually verifies, because that'll add up those rain totals as well. But that's what I'm looking at there. So again, just a lot of rain heading toward the area, and depending on what model you look at, you're looking at a widespread 2 to 3 inch amounts. But again, there will be some heavier rainfall amounts in this as we go through the next couple of days. In fact, one of the models here is hinting at some extraordinary rainfall amounts. Look at these amounts here. You get up around 6, 7, 8 inches, and even higher than that in these isolated areas in the upslope locations. But you have to watch northwest North Carolina around Boone. Again, you get up the mountain slopes here, you get some amounts that may top out over 5 inches, and that's significant. I know we're in a recovering drought, but you get that rain, you're going to have some flooding out there. At the very least, you're going to have some issues with ponding of water on roadways. You got leaves coming off the trees. They'll be falling like crazy because it will get windy as the system moves in, and then as it moves out, it's going to get really windy in behind this, and we'll talk about that as well. I've got some models here I've pulled up. Again, this is the 3-kilometer NAM. I'm getting the new 0Z data in. Let's see how much of that I've got so far. Probably not much. I've only got a couple of hours of that, so we'll have to wait on that. But I'll go back here. We'll look at some more stuff. I've got some saved images here that I like to look at. What do I want to show you that I haven't shown just yet? Wind gust off the Euro. How about that? So I was just talking about the wind. It will be getting up again. It'll stay kind of minimal unless you're in the Mountain Empire up here around Tazewell and Bland, and going down into Tennessee where the winds will be coming out of the south. There'll probably be some very high gusts here between 20 and 30, 35 miles an hour maybe out of the south going into Thursday, and especially Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. Everybody gets into the wind. We could be looking at winds gusting over 40 miles per hour out of the south, blowing in in that warm and stable air, and that will add to the storm energy out there as well. So not only will it be pouring down rain, but we're looking at a lot of wind in here. The rain is going to end in time for the cold weather to move in on Friday, and this is going to be some cold. It's going to feel cold on you. We're going to have some wind chills in here as well. But we're looking at winds gusting over 40 miles per hour from the mountains and up and down the spine of the parkway there as well, as we go into the day on Friday. So it'll be a windy and colder day. Then we got more wind coming up for Sunday as some bouts of colder air start to move into the area. This is the 12Z model here that I'm showing you. And again, it's very similar. If you got winds gusting between 35 and 45 miles per hour late Thursday, and then maybe close to 50 along the ridges there going into Thursday night into Friday. So that's behind this system. So a lot of rainfall, that's set to move into the area. The Rapid Update Model 2 shows a very similar setup here. Not much rain out there tonight, but as early as tomorrow, it'll start to form in Southwest Virginia, and areas of that moving across the area continuously throughout the next couple of days. So it's a very wet pattern. Here's the basics from the Weather Prediction Center, and you can see it's all because of that low in Colorado, lots of snow there. That's the upper level energy really that's feeding this whole system. And you've also got this low that just opens up the Gulf of Mexico. You've got some more, it's not really with a tropical system, but it's tropical moisture that's coming off the Gulf of Mexico. That gets involved in here as well ahead of this front. So that by late tomorrow, this is 18Z tomorrow, which is about, it'll be 2 o'clock. It'll be raining across the entire area very steadily and perhaps even heavy by tomorrow evening. Again, that's a change because, I was kind of thinking that we would just see that heavy rain for Halloween and Halloween night, but right now it's looking like the rain tomorrow could be heavy. Thursday and the Friday for Halloween, and again, this is right at 7 p.m. that the front itself is crossing the area with heavy rain, heavy storms, and you see a lot of moisture there behind it too, as the upper level winds will still be kind of southwest ahead of this or behind this front. Then it becomes sharply west for Friday as we start to see the cooler weather move in. And now we've changed the pattern on you for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We got things coming out of the northwest now and a colder pattern shaping up. So if you look at the excessive rainfall forecast here, you can actually see that tomorrow the Weather Prediction Center has marginal risks over much of the area for excessive rainfall. It's basically too much rain gives you flooding concerns, maybe flood advisories or even flash flood warnings. And you've got the slight risk, which is in yellow, for excessive rainfall up the North Carolina mountains up to about Galax and Stewart. That's tomorrow. And then for Thursday and Thursday night for Halloween, you've got much of the area west of Bedford, the Smith Mountain Lake, up against the North Carolina mountains, and for all of West Virginia just about, and all of the Mountain Empire and RV and even Roanoke under the slight risk of excessive rainfall. And that may go up over the next 24 hours as we get closer to this event. So you can see, again, that big area of moisture. And again, by this time tomorrow, we could already be looking at over an inch of rain, and then more of that falling for Thursday and Thursday nights, so that you've got amounts in here. I know it's a little hard to see, but you've got amounts in here over 5 inches in the North Carolina mountains and nearing in on 5 inches across Southwest Virginia into the North Carolina mountains. So it's an important forecast. I want you to be ready for it. Again, I do think we're going to have some flooding issues out there if we get that moisture in here, and I don't see any reason why it wouldn't happen, because we've just had that happen with our past couple of systems. They've all overperformed, and if this one overperforms from what I'm showing, then we're in a lot of trouble. So we'll have to watch this very, very carefully. And again, not only will the trick-or-treaters be soggy out there, but you have to watch for the flash flooding. And if we get the severe storms, that's a whole nother factor that we may have to consider for Halloween. I'll have more updates during the day tomorrow. Thanks to our sponsor, Southern Trust Home Services. Give them a call at 208-3425, 540-208-3425. Tell Ted I said hey, and tell him I said thanks for sponsoring me here, able to do this stuff for you. But in the meantime, you can see how the clouds are thickening up, and again, a lot of rain on the way. We've got the, again, just to repeat everything, and I'll put some graphics out tonight and tomorrow too, but heavy rain, flooding, Strong to severe storms with possible rotation, especially in south side. This by Thursday night, and then very strong winds behind this front as colder air moves in for the weekend. So those are the things to watch out for, maybe power outages there as well. This is very typical for this time of the year. Usually when you get into mid to late October, you know, just by looking at my Facebook memories, it's almost like clockwork. Every year around this week, I've been the past 10 years putting out something about a major front moving through the area of lots of wind, lots of rain. It's just a sign that it's getting colder out there, and this is you know, the time of the year for that. So it's you know, kind of like your second severe weather season here in the Mid-Atlantic, because you're changing air masses, changing seasons up, and even though spring is typically most active, fall can be very active as well. So keep that in mind, and I'll be watching the system for you over the next couple of days.